It's truly an honor for me to address the Regional Energy Day of the 15th edition of the FOREN 2020. It's truly a very different format that we are doing this event this time, and due to all of the circumstances that have happened around us during this year. I wish to be in the Kostinesti this year, in the Black Sea shore, but unfortunately I have to stay in the very rainy Tallinn this time and provide my notes from here. Here I would also like to acknowledge actually the Romanian member committee for the courage to take this 4-day forum and turn it into a 4-day virtual forum. This is, I think, something that hasn't been done earlier in the energy sector, at least. And I'm looking forward to see how this all goes through. And we see that actually it has been a very successful forum so far. So to go into my presentation, I would like to share some slides with you, and here we go. So I will talk today about the question that has been on the minds of the World Energy Council for at least for this year already. We are talking about humanizing the energy transition, and I would like to address today this question of how to humanize the European energy transition from the perspectives of all of these crises that are around us at the moment. If we think of these reflections that we have at the moment in the energy scene, you can see that we have the pandemic crisis. Then we have, coming from there, even bigger impact on the economic recession. But then it's also even bigger challenge to fight the climate change. And above all of that, we have also the social issues that are arising actually from all of these different crises. The question is that we had all of these crises already earlier, but COVID-19 has even put, say, the more emphasis on all of the questions that are arising from these different issues that are on table today. So we are talking actually about 4 different crises, starting from the pandemics, going to economic crisis, the climate crisis that is there as well, and also in behind that, the social issues and social crisis that is the big question mark, how to actually guarantee that we, say, all of the people around the globe will benefit from this energy transition. So just for looking at some of the figures, say, Angela Wilkinson yesterday told us that the crisis has triggered the biggest reallocation of financial capital in the human history. So there is hundreds of trillions of dollars at stake at the moment when we speak about the changes that are going on in the capital markets. If we look only at the oil markets, that these have been in energy markets probably the most hit sector, and the forecasts that we see for this year show that the oil demand, global oil demand, is to be reduced about 10% during just 1 year. Even more, if we know also that there have been already sharp decreases in the investments on the upstream investments in oil sector that have been reduced already in 2015 by 25% and are expected to decrease this year another 25%, then we see that there is a huge bulk of money that is going to other sectors. Around $400 billion of oil upstream investments are say, lower than compared to 2014. And also, of course, the prices have, the decrease in oil prices have triggered such kind of decreases. But we see that this is something that will certainly for a longer run trigger also the lack of investments in the oil sector, which have to be replaced and is to a large extent also replaced by the other sectors. The question there is how actually this reallocation of these investments from oil sector to other sectors will impact also the different regions and the social security of different regions. So, you know that the World Energy Council has, in the beginning of this year, when the COVID crisis started, has triggered also some of the studies to explore, surveys to explore where do we stand with all of these issues that are in place. What is actually happening and how we are going to move forward. If you look at the short-run implications that have happened, then majority of the firms were affected by the COVID crisis by reduced productivity, decrease in demand, and also with the cash flow issues. However, it was also interesting to see that within just 1 month, the perceptions about this crisis changed a lot. If we did the first round of a survey in March and April, and the second round of the survey in May, and the results from these two surveys were completely different. If you look there, that we had the almost tripling of the respondents who expect that there will be a new normal for energy systems in 1 month, then you can understand that this change that happened in the market was enormous. And also we see that, say, the expectations of how long this crisis will take is going further and further. We see that people expect that there will be even longer crisis in the round. So what are the main changes that are taking place in the companies? 81% of organizations are actually shifting their investments, moving into digitalization, R&D, and also in environmental and social and governance issues. So going digital, more than 2/3 of the organizations are digitizing at the moment their business. However, it is important to note that the main investment in digitalization today go into the business optimization, but not so much to the customers' side. So the customers themselves are at the moment left a bit ahead or behind, and the companies are optimizing their activities on digital part. 42% of the organizations have increased their expenditures to research and development and in the transformation to new businesses. And 1/3 of the organizations are planning or shutting one or more of their business units. This all reflects that there is a very huge change that is going on in the market. So the question now is that if we are talking that there will be a new normal, how this new normal should actually look like, what we can expect from this market to emerge. So one is certain, we have a very uncertain future. 45% of the respondents have seen that, have reflected that the societal resilience will be the critical uncertainty. And the 3/4 of the respondents said that there will be a global economy implications. It's clear that we already see all of these changes already taking place. Greatest impact is expected from this crisis, COVID-19 crisis, to society, followed by the economy and to energy systems. And these will be, and this is the focus on the 12 months coming up. Where to ask when we will have the most difficult times, then the respondents actually said that it will be ahead. The Q4 on 2020 and the first quarter of 2021 are expected to be the most difficult ones for the global economy and for the energy sector as well. As said already, that more than 1/3 of respondents actually expect the new normal to emerge from COVID-19, and 15% say that there will be also a new normal for energy systems. So compared to the overall change in society and economy, the changes in energy systems are expected to be a bit less in the focus. If we look at this society, then we may expect significant societal shifts as a result of the COVID-19. The 95% vast majority of respondents saying that the society is likely to emerge from the crisis with more resilient and more stronger sense of community. And also we will be better prepared for next crisis. However, 80% of the respondents also see that there is a change in individual freedoms. It concerns the job securities and also employee well-being at work, which reshapes the standards of working. Of course, we already have seen the major shifts in the working from home concepts and say less in the office. And also that there are much less physical meetings around. In addition to that, 85% of the respondents said to us that the crisis is likely to lead to increased nationalism, that the countries will put their interests first and work more on their own. If you look at the economic changes, then COVID-19 is expected to fundamentally reshape the economy as well. Let's say 85% of respondents do not expect actually a quick recovery anymore from the crisis, and the contraction of the economy expected through 2021. It is expected also to change the global value chains. Let's say there will be more concentrated a localized production of different say products and services. It's not so much looking forward to globalize anymore. There is also an interesting such a contrast when it comes to the question of trust. 80% of the respondents see that there is a decrease of trust between countries due to the economic tensions that are over there. But in the same time, three-fourths of the respondents see that the international cooperation is actually going to increase during the global crisis and pandemic. Well, we see that in some sectors, economic sectors, it's truly happening, while in others, you may argue that it's going to happen or more or not. When it comes to the energy systems, then the main impact to the energy systems is most likely to rethink about the resilience, that how we actually guarantee that the lights will keep to be on. The energy companies have managed very well to guarantee that the lights are on, and but there are also signals that there will be in next half a year difficulties also for the energy system. It was also a very strong strive towards the, so to say, new storm for the from the energy crisis. See that whether we can see the changes on the say the whole overall structure in the energy markets, and the capex costs have decreased substantially in all sectors mostly, and there are also concerns about the delays in bill payments and low oil price. So all it goes together saying that we have to renew the concepts for the resilience, and to look at more on the whole energy system resilience point of view, to see that how we can actually come together with all of these energy solutions, and to guarantee that it provides the resilience for people. In coming to the environment and the energy transition, there are very mixed feelings about this. From one hand, say majority of respondents say that there will be the energy transition moving forward in a very big speed, and even increasing the speed. In the same time, the same amount of people actually say that there are delays in the investments and also in the design of the new climate agenda. So we don't have today a clear view how we actually move forward with the energy transition, and whether it will be enough to provide all the investments that are needed for the climate change issues to be tackled. We also see that some of the respondents see the increase of the individual and local actions in countries. And from this perspective, it is likely to see that in some areas, in some countries, the COVID-19 crisis may trigger change in the energy transition in a way that the customers themselves will be more in power, in the community action will move forward the whole transition. In the same time, majority of respondents told us that they see an appetite for radical policies from the energy policymakers. It's probably, we may see that there will come new norms, behavioral changes, but also possibility for the renationalizations of the companies. So it's very mixed on these responses around the world, and it depends very much on the countries. So altogether, if you look at the energy policies and businesses, they are evolving at the moment very much, and the themes that are on tables of the energy leaders are about the responsible leadership, how to strengthen the focus on the social license to operate, and how to manage the negative spillover effects of digitalization of energy. They also have to look at the resilience, review all of the ways how to guarantee the supply chain, but also secure the security for the people who are working in the business. Rescue and recovery. There have to be recovery plans and the fiscal stimulus packages that would support the new investments in the more diverse pathways. And above all, there is also a need for redesigning the markets to guarantee that the behavioral transformation of people will actually bring to better lives and more healthier planets. If we look at the European Union Green Deal and Commission proposals for the regional integration and hydrogen strategies, they are in general good visionary documents. And now they just require political commitment from all of the EU governments, also strong financial backup, also strong and public accepted energy projects, which seems to be a challenge in many countries. Redesign of energy markets in many countries. Say the new energy package has to be implemented in parallel as well. And all of this, how to put this just energy transition from words to action, how to guarantee that we will not increase the inequality between the countries and also between the people. So how we are stress testing in the World Energy Council that we have set up 4 different scenarios that we might see in the markets, coming from the different ambition, how quickly we can return from pre-pandemic normal to the transformational future, how big will be the trust between the countries, whether it's a collaborative approach or diverse approaches with greater independence of the countries, and also how quickly the virus will be under control. So we have developed 4 different scenarios that are looking from this perspective. It's a fast-forward scenario with collaborative opportunities for transformation, meaning that there will be a good global cooperation and a strong transformation. Re-record scenario looks at the bottom-up diverse experiments to create a human-centered transition. Rewind scenario look at the world where we turn away from the globalization and try to repair the local economies. And the pause scenario looks at the collaboration aiming at the return to normal life. So we have asked also from our future energy leaders to try to find the signals for all of these scenarios. And you can see that today, majority of signals in the market are going towards fast-forward scenario, where we can see the global transition and also the strong recovery as well. However, we will go live with this radar in 18th of September during the Clean Energy Ministerial, and I would then invite also all of you to share your signals with us, and see how we can help actually all of us to come to the better signal changers for the future. So here, if you want to go into details of this presentation, then I would like to invite you to visit the World Energy Council webpage dedicated to COVID-19 crisis, and to see the reports that we have put together from there. With this, I would like to thank you for this opportunity, and wish for the successful day and fruitful discussions. Thank you.